How do we become Israel and overcome the struggle of these opposing forces in us?
Many ways or many processes we go through from becoming Jacob, because Jacob is the one who is in justifies, one can say, his action or his survival, not in a straight way, yeah? And sort of, if I want to be nice to him, it's undulated way, never straight, which is the opposite of Israel, which is to go straight. Yeah? To go straight, it means not what we think about going straight without consideration of what there is, but going straight is actually, Israel is not a name only of Jacob becoming Israel, it's a name of God itself is called Israel. It means, at least in English, that which is real, that which is true. But then it seems that coming from this, what is called the worm of Jacob, it says, don't fear, worm of Jacob. And because you will first don't fear. Even when you are sort of walking in or being in a process that you always feel uncomfortable with yourself. Being Jacob is a complete diseasement with oneself, with the definition of oneself, with one's attitude, with the way one is being handled by others, or the way one handles oneself. But Jacob is the beginning of it's sort of the hill of the beginning of the revelation. So if there is a beginning of revelation of the demand of the presence of the higher in us, it is almost a condition that we will feel uncomfortable with ourselves, that we will find ourselves in struggle, that we will find ourselves deceitful. We find that although we say, yes, we would like to serve something higher, yes, we would like to even to serve God, first, we don't know what we're speaking about. And second, we hope, or our hidden agenda is always, how can we benefit from it for ourselves? So this is a state of Jacob. State of Jacob is actually revealing, as he starts by deceit, he's deceiving his father, he's deceiving Lavan, is being deceived by his wives, by Lavan. So it's almost a cry of finding, one can say, a backbone of something that you can rely on. And the backbone of our work, moving from Jacob to Israel, is adhesion to an order of study and prayer and work. Meaning that it's not Jacob that will make himself Israel. It's something higher that will work in him, as we see. He's not calling himself Israel. He's being called Israel. Yeah? Something with his, one can say, desperation of being left alone inside his inner struggle, sort of create, or something in him is being born as a new identity, which is Israel. So first is the recognition of evil in ourselves. Evil as something that separates us from our spirit, that separates separates us from the divinity or from Shekhinah, and everything that separates us from actually being in partnership with the Creator. And wishing to fulfill this mission and to send forward powers that will actually engrave or pave our route, that entitles us to the name Israel. It's not a corporal recognition, genetic recognition. It's a spiritual genetic recognition in oneself. So it can be from a Buddhist, from a Christian, from Timbuktu, or from the middle of the rabbinic environment in Israel. It's an awakening of a recognition of what actually separates me, and the inveiglement of our ways, specifically towards that which is higher and that which is sacred. So this is where we start. If we are willing to admit that I'm like this, this is where I really start to need the higher, where I really start to need God in order to form in me, or to send me his messengers to actually allow me to form this identity of Israel. Okay. And this is what we're facing here. This is why the Zohar starts with the dawn of the birth of this consciousness of being Adam. Yeah? And he's saying this is what you recognize. You recognize that at the opening, at the door of your awakening, you will find the will to receive to oneself what is called the evil, waiting for you, because it will try to inveigle you into his way by actually drawing a very high light. One can say that Klipot is starting to be interested in us only when we are born into this recognition. Before that, it controls us very much, thank you very much, through our daily life, through our corporate life. Because as the Zohar will say, till the age of 13, you're completely under the influence of the will to receive. It's not an age, 13, though we celebrate it as a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. It's whether you establish, or the awakening of the point in the heart, establish a connection with Erech Anpin, meaning with the 13, one can say, values or degrees of mercy. Is it clear? So it's a very intricate, complicated process and journey to move from Jacob to Israel. And we see that in Jacob itself, through this portion, and even later, he's moving from being sort of coming back to his little self as Jacob, or Katnut, what is called, or moving into Israel. One can say that his sons, especially in the occurrence of Dinah, holds or wish to hold the identity of Israel. Yeah? But every time Jacob is allowing something to happen to him in which he is not decisive, or in which he is not in resolve in oneself, he moves back into Jacob, which is what is called don't fear the worm, which is Jacob, because it gets by being Jacob, realizing our weakness, which is to do with this, the name of this parsha, Vayishlach. It's as well indicating the weakness, we get the power of the mouth. As the worm has the power to actually sort of weave the thread that covers it, and inside it, it's getting reborn as something else. What being a worm, being in katnut of Jacob, gives us the true need and the true screen of prayer. Because the Zohar is saying that the power of the worm is in its mouth, like Jacob. His power is in his prayer. So the state of Jacob teaches us how to pray, because we realize the dangers that our spirit is in. Okay. And when we come to Gadlut, which is Israel, is the identity of being able to bring from potentiality into actuality a true reformation for all spirits. So we need this movement, because as you become Israel and you see that you are not able to fulfill your mission, you become weak, and then you get the power of prayer, and then you move back into actuality. It's clear, or more clear.